of Conduct. Preamble. We, the indigenous people of Biafra, are indigenous to the nation called Biafra, and we Biafrans originate from a single ancestry. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, incorporates or comprises those Biafrans resident in the homeland and those in diaspora. Bound and united by one single objective, which is to explore and utilize every available legal framework of domestic and international nature, in addition to universally guaranteed rules and procedures to assert the right to self-determination for the Biafran people, and eventually and ultimately determine our own economic, political, legal, social, and cultural systems in a sovereign and independent Biafran nation. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB worldwide families, are accorded official and legal status in over 80 countries around the world. These established structures in different countries of the world are the institutional foundation of the new Biafran nation, and therefore official representatives of the indigenous people of Biafra with the sole responsibility to deal and communicate directly with the government and people of their host countries in order to bring to their attention and knowledge the atrocities being committed against Biafrans by the Nigerian establishments. In pursuance of this core objective, it is incumbent upon us to ensure that all IPOB family members worldwide are properly guided to know and understand their duty and responsibility towards our effort to restore our dear nation, Biafra. To this effect, therefore, the apex leadership of IPOB has deemed it very apt at this crucial state of our struggle to formulate a general code of conduct for all IPOB families worldwide. Section 1. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB worldwide, has the following structures and departments. Subsection A. IPOB institutional structures. 1. The Supreme Leader. 2. The Deputy Leader. 3. The Directorate. 4. The Continental Representatives. 5. The Regional Representatives. 6. The National Coordinators. 7. The State Coordinators specific to Biafra land. 8. The Senatorial Coordinators specific to Biafra land. 9. The Local Government Coordinators specific to Biafra land. 10. The Zonal Coordinators. 11. The Unit Coordinators. Subsection B. The National Coordinator, being the overall leader of the IPOB family in the country of abode or host country, as well as the head representative of the apex leadership of IPOB, must be accorded all support and respect for the growth and progress of the family. The National Coordinator has the duty to work to enhance the growth of the IPOB family in its country of residence. He must act toward engaging the human rights organizations, humanitarian, charity organizations, public officials, and top politicians of his country of residence. Principal officers must not be in arrears of their financial obligation in the form of monthly donations for up to 3 months in a row, except where exceptional circumstances exist. Exceptional circumstances include grounds of ill health or unforeseen acts of nature or any other reason the apex leadership may consider viable. Subsection C. IPOB hierarchical structure. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, led by Onyendu Mazy Nnamdi Kanu, made a deliberate and conscious decision to pursue our inalienable right to self-determination through non-violent peaceful process which include but not restricted to all forms of civil disobedience, boycotts, sit-at-homes, protests, and rallies. Being a non-violent freedom-fighting movement, our operational methodology, therefore, is founded upon the enduring and effective principle of command and control. This principle, a hierarchical top-down process meant to instill discipline into the consciousness of every IPOB family member, presupposes that all directives from the apex leadership of IPOB pass down through the Directorate of State of the Indigenous People of Biafra, the DOS, or through a superior officer to his subordinate must be obeyed without fail. Whereas, this fundamental principle has been one of the pillars upon which a strong, disciplined, focused, committed, and highly sophisticated mass movement of the indigenous people of Biafra worldwide, led by Onyedu Mazy Nnamdi Kanu, rests. Taking into account that the self-determination struggle of the indigenous people of Biafra, having achieved very critical milestones and geared towards the total emancipation of our people from the shackles of oppression and servitude, and ultimately the establishment of a sovereign and independent Biafran nation. Bearing in mind the imperativeness of maintaining and strengthening discipline at all levels of service and ensuring that all principal servants remain conscious of and engrossed in their assigned duties and responsibilities to the Biafran people. The apex leadership of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB worldwide, state unequivocally as follows. 1. That every principal servant of the indigenous people of Biafra, from unit coordinators up to the highest level of coordination, must adhere very strictly to this code of conduct by ensuring that they report in all cases and at all times to their immediate superior, except on cases of complaint against the immediate superior officer, in which case they should send a written complaint to the next superior officer. 2. That all principal servants of the indigenous people of Biafra worldwide, whether in Biafra land or diaspora, must without fail, except for reason of ill health, make themselves available for all meetings to which the Directorate of State may invite them to attend. 3. The CRC shall deliberate on all complaints and all petitions duly and properly brought before it. Duly and properly entails that a. The complaint must emanate from known and recognized IPOB family units, zone, state, or members. B. The complaint must be in writing. C. The complaint must be forwarded to the committee from the office of the head of directorate. D. The complaint must not proceed from an expelled former IPOB family member. E. The complainant or petitioner must be a financial member of IPOB who shall not be in arrears for more than 3 months in monthly dues payments. 4. The CRC shall, if it deems such necessary to serve the cause of justice, request directly from the complainant or the respondent, as the case may be, for additional written information or evidence. 5. To help it reach a fair, just, and equitable conclusion, and to make an apt and fact-supported recommendation to the Directorate of State, the CRC shall have the authority to invite witnesses to either make a written submission or give oral evidence when dealing with a particular complaint before it. 6. After exhaustive deliberation on any particular complaint or petition, The CRC shall forward a written report to the Directorate of State on that particular complaint. The report shall contain the recommendations of the committee. This report shall state the grounds upon which the committee reached a particular conclusion. 7. All IPOB financial transactions, be it in form of monthly donations, levies, or fundraising, shall after gathering of such funds be handed over to the appropriate financial officer, to wit, Financial Secretary or Treasurer, who after taking proper record of the funds raised shall remit same into official IPOB general accounts as provided by the head of finance to all family units. 8. For clarity, no principal officer from the unit coordinator to the continental representatives other than financial officers shall have anything to do with collection of funds. 9. Fundraising under and in the name of IPOB shall be undertaken only with clearance from IPOB Head of Finance or Treasurer, as the case may be. 10. In the case of a new zone or unit, whichever applies to the new family, the state or national coordinator shall equally forward for vetting and approval their recommendations for the new unit, zonal or state position, as the case may be. 11. The use of private or personal bank accounts to solicit for funds on behalf of IPOB, whether such funds are solicited within IPOB family or outside of the family, is prohibited. Such acts shall be a sufficient ground for the removal of the principal officer so involved. 13. No groupings or sectionalism of whatever form or name is allowed inside IPOB. We are the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB worldwide. 14. All principal servants and members are to obey and carry out orders from their superior principal servants immediately and at all times, provided these orders do not amount to sabotage, fraud, or to the detriment of IPOB. 15. It is incumbent upon every IPOB member to have a Twitter account, except the most elderly, who are frail in health, and those who do not have the capacity to open one. 16. Where IPOB family has already been registered in a particular country, no IPOB member is allowed to embark on further registration of IPOB in that same country without consulting with the national coordinator and the continental rep of that continent. 17. All forms and shapes of bribery, corrupt and criminal activities and practices are prohibited in IPOB. It is the duty of all family members to expose such practices with irrefutable evidence. Anyone found indulging in these acts shall be dismissed and expelled from IPOB worldwide family. Conclusion. Any infraction to the rules contained in this IPOB Code of Conduct shall attract very severe consequences. All forms of disobedience to order, from above or insubordination to constituted authority, will form sufficient grounds for instant dismissal. No manner of ill discipline shall be condoned or tolerated. Opposition for opposition's sake has no place in this Chukwu Okike Abiyama ordained struggle, and therefore must not guide the thinking or mindset of any committed family member or principal servant of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, at this critical time in our history. Anyone who finds it difficult to follow laid down rules cannot serve IPOB and is at liberty to resign his or her position of service or voluntarily step out of the family. Thanks for watching our video. Please don't forget to click the subscription button and notification bell. You can also support us by sharing this video to your social media handles.